Hey, Nathan here, helping you become a better jungler. I have a Graves 9.24 Challenger career review. This is Tarzan, the jungler for LCK team. Griffin, I want to touch on Graves this game, but I also want to sort of highlight like high level jungling. So Tarzan's up against Clid, who's the jungler for Gen G. Like these two junglers going at it is a blast to watch in like the highest possible Korean Challenger solo queue game. Really good jungling from both sides, but obviously we're going to touch on Graves Tarzan. He actually ends up winning this game here. So let's start with Tarzan's runes. He goes Fleet of Footwork, which is my personal preference on Graves. I just think it synergizes so well with him, getting that extra move speed because Graves' auto attack range is so short. Getting that extra move speed just to get like those like kite and potentially get those last auto attacks off is really handy. Goes Triumph just for those skirmish healing. There's really no other one you want to go except for Triumph in this tree. Legend Alacrity, which is so important on Graves. I talk about this a lot. Don't go Tenacity, always go Alacrity. And Coup de Grace, you can go Last Stand, but Coup de Grace is fine as well. And interestingly, so I like Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight, but he goes the new Nimbus Cloak. Well, it's not exactly new, but the preseason patch basically changed Nimbus Cloak to you get the move speed off using summoner spells. That includes Flash and Smite. So it actually works really well with if you take Red Smite because it sort of helps it act sort of like a Blue Smite, getting that extra move speed. And again, going back to Graves, the importance of move speed on him, really good, and then takes absolute focus for that extra damage above 70% health. And then he takes attack speed, adaptive force, armor, pretty standard in the stats rune. So that's his runes there, and let's jump into the game here. So Tarzan's going for potential invade. Trying to do something pretty sneaky here. E over the wall. Do see Lee Sin, but he actually gets seen by the Jax who's camping there. Forced to burn Flash to dodge that Lee Sin Q, so bit of a failed invade there, to be honest. Like, the enemy didn't burn any flashes, and Tarzan's just sort of burn his flash. So I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. I think I was potentially looking to, like, maybe sit here with Garen or something like that and look to, like, kill Red, take the Red off Lee Sin, but again, just doesn't really work. I'll take the time controls off here as well. Alright, so Tarzan switches out to Red Sweeper Trinket. And looks like he's going to start red. Bot doesn't leash at all, so this is potentially because he doesn't want the enemy Lee Sin to sort of get information, know where he starts, but I mean, they could have maybe literally just like forgot to leash because they were, you know, sort of messing around top side. So does Raptor camp here. On to Wolves. So usually the path before preseason patches, you'll do always Krugs on your first clear, but Krugs have dropped off in priority a lot in terms of early game. Krugs still give a lot of experience in gold, but they're just not as good as they used to be. You know, like Krugs were literally like the most important camp to get preseason patch. So it takes blue now, and on Gromp. Alright, so Clid actually comes in here and a bit of 1v1s coming off here. Trying to go for it. Probably one auto attack too late. So really close 1v1 there. GP unfortunately didn't get here in time to help. So Lee Sin escapes and Tarzan dies. So a bit of a unfortunate start and is going to lose top scuttler right now. So we see Lee Sin top here. He just decides to clear Krugs. And bot Rift Scuttler is pretty important to get as well. Maybe he should have skipped Krugs to get Rift Scuttler first, but he does have bot priority still here, so it might be okay. Okay, but bot's actually base in here. And the enemy Talia and Lee Sin is probably going to be here as well. So Lee Sin shows up here, so he actually just has to concede this. There's no way he's going to be able to contest this. Even though Varus is TPing, like, they just don't have river advantage. Like, this Garen sort of pushed in a little bit here. So unfortunately he's given up both Rift Scuttlers. So yeah, also note that he's gone the Red Smite here, which works really well with the new Nimbus Cloak. Sort of like a red and half a blue Smite. Alright, so we're clearing Wolves now onto Gromp. So we got a double mage bot lane here as well. As a jungler, I really like to, for Lee Sin's side, and this is what looks like that Clid's doing, I really like to gank and like camp, especially this double CC, like Morgana, Syndra, like this is really, really good to gank, like from Lee Sin's perspective. As a Graves, like this is really hard to gank. I would not be ganking this at all bot, so it's sort of good that he's ignoring it. I mean, to be honest, he doesn't really have much he can gank, really. Like, Graves is literally just going to be counter ganking and potentially counter jungling. But GP's doing pretty good here. This is Roach for SKT T1. Alright, so you saw Lee Sin bot here, so he's pretty safe to counter jungle. Take his Krugs and actually potentially dive this low health Jax. We still think Lee Sin's probably bot side, potentially taking Dragon right now. They lose their first drag. And Tarzan's playing really well to kite tower here, and we kill the Jax. So we trade a kill top, get GP ahead, which is really good. Getting GPs to survive the lane phase right now, especially against a Jax. Like, GP is instantly a really big win condition for Tarzan and his team. So I really like this here. So Lee Sin comes to gank mid. Misses his Q. GP ults. So they're pretty low now. Tarzan just decides I'm not even going to bother helping right now. I'm literally just going to steal Lee Sin's drop to camp and his red buff. So this is actually a pretty key turning point in the game. Like, Graves is going to really start accelerating. Like Tarzan has essentially got like sort of a free-ish early game, you know, apart from that 1v1 that he lost to the Lee Sin, but he's really going to be like power farming now. I mean, he's like 6 CS up here. He's going to be like, you know, still around 7 now because Lee Sin got some camps, but this is really good. Denying a red, if he gets his red as well from Lee Sin, is really, really, really good. So, alright, so decides to base. His blue is coming up and Gromp's up, but wants to base, wants to just buy warrior. Really, really good item spike on Graves or really any jungler. Finishing off your jungle item, full jungle items, really good for just helping you clear and gives you that early strength. Alright, so come into clear red here, making sure enemy Lee Sin's not taking it. Clears his Raptor camp, and yeah, there's just a lot. Like, Lee Sin's really trying to camp bot lane right here, get his double mage bot lane snowballing. Alright, so Tarzan's looking to come here now. Uses his sweeper trinket, just make sure he's not on any wards. Red smites the Morgana, she's going to die. Syndra knocks back, but she doesn't really have any mana. Tarzan flashes, and he returns. He gets 2 kills bot. So pretty good for Tarzan here. Checks the blue, not up, just decides to base. So bases on 1,000 gold here. Sells his refillable potion here to buy attack speed boots, which is pretty interesting. You don't really need to sustain anymore. I mean, he's got red buff. Like, he's going to clear jungle pretty comfortably, so he actually doesn't really need the refillable potions anymore at this stage. Alright, comes top, kills the Graves, who's trying to go ham on the gangplank, which is really good. Getting GP ahead there. But I mean, Tarzan was going to go top for top camps anyway, right? So sort of pretty lucky there. Alright, just decides to straight up do Rift Herald here. He does have top priority and the Jax is dead, so I do like this. We do have a ping ward here just in case enemy Lee Sin's come in. And enemy's Lee Sin's probably bot like at this stage, like they're pinging bot and stuff like that right now. So I really like this. Is a really aggressive Rift Herald, and I really like this, getting this early. I mean, he's really literally like traded sort of bot side of the map for this GP, so, you know, might as well just continue this. Alright, so clearing jungle camps, walks into bot. And it's probably going to die here potentially to Lee Sin. So yeah, dies to Lee Sin. A bit greedy there maybe. Like, we knew Lee Sin was bot side because he obviously wasn't top side for Rift Herald and stuff. He was just, I mean, well played by Clid. He just knew that, well, they had a control ward there, knew that Tarzan would eventually walk down bot and actually gets a shutdown on him. So at this point, like, really, like, bot is just absolutely just game over. Like, you do not want to be going bot at all. So let's see what Tarzan does out of this base. Like, they're gonna lose their second dragon. Alright, literally walking straight topside right here. I love this from Tarzan. Like, this is really efficient speed, like high level jungling right here. He knows bot lane is game over, comes here to help. Like, he doesn't even need to kill this Jax, like, you're going to use Rift Herald, break this tower, get all turret platings, they're going to get first tower of the map before bot lane, which is really good for momentum in this game, and again, helping GP get ahead, and Jax, I mean, they chunked Jax pretty well there, so he's still going to have to back off and base. Alright, so we get top tower there, all the plates. The enemy team's red buff is up here, so notice Tarzan throws his W here. So at this stage, like, the enemy team stopped pressuring bot. They got Dragon like a while back. Lee Sin is almost 100% coming now topside to defend. So he actually doesn't want to risk going for red here. And he just goes straight mid to come gank this Talia, which I really like. And if we actually look where Lee Sin is, he's literally there. So remember, Graves, Tarzan didn't have any vision of that. And he just knew instinct-wise. Like, this is just like high-level jungling. He just knew that Lee Sin wasn't bot for a long period of time. He's most likely top to come take his red. So instead, gets Morgana here, which is really good. And come takes bot Rift Scuttler. Bot's going to be able to get priority pretty free here. Lee Sin and Talia walking in. Tarzan just doesn't want any, he just wants to keep power farming right now. I mean, he actually 10 CS behind, so, I mean, yeah, Klid's playing really well this game as well, so, you know, props to both these junglers. Alright, does his red, now comes for a potential counter, gank bot. Well, Syndra got a really good stun there, so just needs to back off. Like, this is a lost fight. And Varus actually gets hit by that Morgana, stuns that Q. Alright, so Tarzan actually decides he actually wants to stay and defend this tower. This might be a little greedy, but he knows Lee Sin's top here, so just going to throw his Q there. Graves actually has pretty decent wave clear. And there you go, successfully defends bot. Awesome. So the fact that they still haven't got this tower is just so big for this team, and I would say that that's like the key, like, reason why the enemy team hasn't been able to break open this map right now. Like, GP is constantly just getting free farm top. Right, so he sees Lee Sin walk into blue here, comes to try and potentially defend this, but Lee Sin just jumps away. GP looks for a potential ult, but gets knocked back by Talia. This is gone. Tarzan decides to stop chasing. Be efficient, clear jungle camp. So clears Gromp, clears Wolves. Enemy Talia is pushing in mid. Really good ult from Varus there. They're going to be able to kill the Talia. So good job by Varus to hit that ult. Now Tarzan's going to get Rift Scuttler. We have a lot of good control here, top river. So second Rift Herald is definitely a very big option right now. You want to be getting that ASAP. So Lee Sin actually pops up here, going really aggressive. Really good mechanics from Klid there. And actually trade 1-for-1 there. So, I mean, that's just Klid playing Lee Sin really well. One of the best Lee Sins in the world, so expect nothing less from Genji Klid. Alright, but they end up killing the Jax there, so they do end up actually going 1-for-2 technically, but Varus died on mid, I think it was. Alright, so interesting to note, first major item he's bought is Infinity Edge. I think this is really interesting, and you actually see the rest of his build, what he builds the next couple of items. Really interesting, like sort of like crit build, utilizing the passive on IE for that extra crit damage. Alright, so comes, kill this overextended Syndra potentially. She flashes, they get Dragon aggro. Really good ult from GP there to slow her down, and Syndra's dead here. We have mid priority, we have bot priority, Lee Sin's top. This is a free dragon for Tarzan. So I think this is their first dragon of the game. Alright, so it helps Varus push out mid, just hovering him, looking to go into Rift Herald now. Assist pings, okay, so Lee Sin's actually shown on Rift here. It's very low health right now, but unfortunately Klid is alone on a one-man mission right now doing this. Really good read from Tarzan there to come and kills Lee Sin and takes the Rift Herald, so really good work from Tarzan there, and comes to break mid. So breaking mid's really good for them now. This is going to help them break open the map and really start pressuring the enemy team, with Baron especially coming up in about a minute and a half. So does some counter jungling while Lee Sin's dead, takes top Rift Scuttler. Probably just going to keep farming his jungle, clears a control ward. Alright, looking to base here, and this is where it gets interesting with this build. He gets 2 agility cloaks, the extra crit chance, and purely this is just like the ultimate IE build. Like, he's literally gone all in on, I want to get crits, and Graves' crits are really strong, so you can like build Storm Razor. I like to build Storm Razor first item, but this also works in terms of if you really want to carry, and he actually has like had a pretty good early game. Like, he has 6 kills, like a lot of gold right now. He's farming very well. He's got 145 CS at this stage. I do like this build a lot, and definitely something you can go on Graves if you want to carry the game. So comes here to clear his red, cleared Krugs. There's nothing else he can really do there. His Garen's just died bot, just concedes that. He still has Rift Herald, remember. Alright, looking to potentially help mid, but needs to back off. Morgana's there to protect the Talia. Questionable ult, I think. Like, I don't think he would have had enough damage to kill the Talia, but forces her to back still. So Baron's up an objective. They have very, very good control wards for river control here. They could potentially sneak a Baron. Alright, so Tarzan's starting it, but he's taking a lot of damage right now. He can't solo Baron at all. The enemy, his team's actually trying to fight right now, so a bit of miscommunication there. Players sort of just wanting to do their own thing. Alright, the Garen kills the Jax. So 3 enemy team dead. They trade 2 for 3. Gangplank and Karma's dead for their team. They're trying to do a Baron again with their river control. I'm not sure if they'll have enough damage if Varus is basing right now. This is not going to work. Alright, so they actually decide just to back off. Lee Sin's back alive right now. No reason to risk that. They already have like a comfortable gold lead right now. No reason to risk like a ridiculous Baron like that. So decides just to go do his jungle camps now. And bases on 900 gold, and look at this, he's gotten 3 crit cloaks, and this is again just to purely utilize the passive on Infinity Edge where it increases your critical strike damage. So having more crit chance helps you get more crits off, extra damage. So the crit Graves build here, so he's sort of forced to use Rift Herald there because it's about to expire, so just uses it to pressure mid. Takes his Raptor camp. Dragon is coming up soon, so I like this to just get some mid priority to potentially take their second dragon. Lee Sin's trying to camp and get some picks in the jungle, but GP scares him off. Alright, enemy team's reacting to the Rift Herald mid. There you have to react to mid waves. So this is going to be pretty free dragon here with mid priority. And they get their second dragon. Alright, so Clid's trying to clear some vision while he has the chance while they do dragon. Varus, we push out mid. Look to come clear some vision now. Tarzan uses his sweeper. Just to make sure they're constantly just sort of baiting these guys in and maybe looking to sneak a Baron. So, bit of a team fight breaking out here in the enemy topside jungle. Right, pretty close fight. Everyone's pretty low health. Not really an option to do Baron. Tarzan just decides to go bot, take this Rift Scuttler, potentially counter jungle as well. We see Lee Sin and stuff mid. So he's going pretty greedy here. Actually gets the blue buff. Really good work from Tarzan. I don't even think did he smite that? I'm not sure. I think he just got that from just his damage. Like, Graves does a lot of damage with this IE build. Alright, gifts the GP, the big Raptor camp. I assume he just wants to buy an item, so he lets him get Infinity Edge. Pretty good teamwork there from blue team. Alright, continuing to farm. He's got 190 CS, going to be approaching 200 CS now. Like, this is how you want to be playing Graves. Just prioritizing farm, making sure you're getting those items, making sure you're scaling well. Like, Graves scales very, very well for an AD champion. Alright, so Jax is bot, GP's defending that. Jax is actually potentially looking for a pick on Varus. Alright, so we got the kill actually on Lee Sin there. Clid goes pretty aggressive there, try to do like some fancy Lee Sin stuff. I always hate fancy Lee Sin stuff, especially at this stage of the game. Like, it always just throws games. Like, yes, you could have potentially got a kick off into the enemy team or something like that, but now's just given, you know, this team an opportunity to take Rift Baron. So they're just trying to rush Baron here with the enemy Lee Sin dead, but he's alive now. There's a sort of a fight breaking out, but they're two-manning Baron. They get the Baron. Potentially kill Talia as well. Alright, so this is really good position for these guys, for Tarzan and his team to start closing this out. Lee Sin has Sterix right now, so he's actually pretty out of control. And picks up some more kills. Probably need to base here, actually in a sticky position. Wow, really good Q from Clid there. Really good Lee Sin mechanics, and they actually trade 3 for 3 there. So they actually lose a lot of Barons off that. Not ideal, but played pretty well from, I mean, both teams really. Specifically, Clid's Lee Sin. Alright, so third Dragon's coming up here. Team's looking to defend this. Tarzan's not up for another good 3-4 seconds, but any team secure, I mean, the team secures their third Dragon. Goes top side. Takes his topside jungle, uses sweeper, start checking for jungle wards. Just making sure he's denying as much enemy vision as possible with his red sweeper trinket. Alright, hovering mid here, he's a little cautious that the enemy team's cancelling here, so he's just being safe, using his W to check it. Takes another Lee Sin, like, he's denied so many Lee Sin red buffs. I mean, look at this right now, like, he literally is like 60 CS, like over the last 10 minutes he's farmed so well, taking like lots of red buffs, and he's now 2 levels ahead of the Lee Sin. So just really scaling up pretty nicely. So he's cancels his base to continue a siege here. The enemy GP, I mean, his GP's bot right now with Baron, which is, I mean, they only have like 1 Baron right now, I believe. Who has Baron? Oh, okay, actually, only GP has Baron at this stage, so they don't have Baron to siege this effectively, but they end up killing the Syndra, and GP kills Talia bot as well, so they go siege mid here, probably an inhibitor. There's no way the enemy team can 3v5 here. Alright, they're actually looking to potentially end the game here. So let's see how this plays out, but they do have no minion wave right now. Clid has GA on the Lee Sin as well, so probably going to internet back off here. Syndra and Talia are almost alive. Alright, so they back off, come to Raptor camp. Being again efficient with his time, making this use to clear his jungle camps. Buys another item here, he gets a Phantom Dancer now, which is another really good item on Graves. So he has Storm Razor, Phantom, 3 item Spark here. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. Still 2 levels ahead of the enemy Lee Sin. So they're going bot side right now to control this. I think Dragon's up in about a minute or so. So getting this 4th Dragon for them, it would be really, really good. Dragon Soul's like really OP, especially, I mean, it gives you the option for Elder Dragon as well. So the sieging bot here, waiting for super minions to push mid in. Enemy team clears it pretty well. Syndra has pretty good wave clear as well as Talia, so they decide to back off. Just look for this Dragon. Tarzan just waiting for Dragon now. Helps push in mid first. Get mid priority for a secure Dragon. Right, enemy team actually knows they're doing. They're going to look for this 4th Dragon, so they're actually trying to rush this Baron. So this is a pretty desperation play from red team. Tarzan secures the Dragon. Their 4th Dragon Souls, the mountain one, gives you the shield. Alright, but actually stops them from doing Baron here. Pops the GA and kills Lee Sin. It actually looks like we potentially catch out both the Syndra and the Morgana. So, game's going to end off here. And that looks like it's GG. So, Again, really good game from both junglers here, but I really like the way Tarzan played this Graves game. Let me know if there's any questions, comments below you have from this review. You can check out my full notes from this blog, from this review over on my blog, nathanmott.gg, as well as Tarzan's full item build skill order, and I also have a picture of the runes over there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.